Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another CPL cast. My name is Flash for the win. I'll be flying solo today on this cast. We will be wrapping up the very first week of playoffs. This one's going to be between Mech and Cheese versus Amigos. We're going to be doing two matchups of Tier 1 play. As we can see on the screen, Yaku versus Urk Royal Blue and Ash Return versus Cold Warp Gates. Some pretty exciting players in this group. I'm obviously good co-casters with Cold Warp Gates, and I've played against Royal Blue before. He's a very strong player, so I'm very excited about this Tier 1 cast today. We're going to be taking a look very quickly right now at the maps as well. Today's maps: Circuit Breakers, Eclipse, and Polypoid. Some very large maps, especially Circuit Breaker and Polypoid, 4-player, very macro-intensive maps, and we'll be seeing some pretty exciting games on those. Eclipse as well, another very interesting map. I personally have never really liked that map. Honestly, in any matchup, I feel like the map is very imbalanced in a lot of places, but still a very good map, and very excited to see some play on it. I do believe that Ash Returning is Terran. Cold is Protoss. I know that for sure. Royal Blue, I believe, is Terran, and Yakub, I believe, is Protoss. I think we have two PVTs today. So expect a couple long macro games here. We might be seeing some cheeses, but for the most part, let's go ahead and get right into things. Alrighty, going into game number 1 here. It's going to be on Circuit Breakers. Spine down here at the bottom left-hand location as the orange Protoss. It's going to be Yakub. And that means that over here at the top right-hand position as the yellow Terran, it's going to be Urk Royal Blue. Cross-map spawns here on Circuit Breaker is going to lead us to a very long macro game, I predict. Both players are probably going to be going up to very quick 4 bases on this map. And fairly safe, I would say, between these two players, at least on this map. It's very difficult for Terran to really get a good timing attack going across the map. You know, like with a 5 to 6 factory timing push, even 4 factories, very, very difficult. Unless Protoss gets really greedy and takes an exceptionally quick 4th base, which I don't expect to happen on this map. Definitely, you know, a faster 3rd base, 6 minutes or so, is something that I do anticipate, like a 6:15, 6:30 3rd. Maybe like a 9-minute 4th. We'll have to see. And Yakub already pointing it out. No rush 20-minute PVT. Definitely seems like that's going to be what we're going to see on this map. Again, cross spawns just so difficult to really get a timing attack of any sort. We'll see. We'll see. It definitely comes down to how the players enjoy playing this matchup. I believe that Royal Blue is a pretty stock standard safe Terran from last time I played him. And it looks like he's going to go for the barracks on the low ground, or is this going to be a scouting SCV? Nope, scouting SCV. Actually put the barracks up here. It's always interesting to see how people play the early game out. Normally with me, I like to use the SCV I build a supply depot to build the barracks. Some people like to use that to scout and then pull another SCV off to build it. But it looks like with cross map, neither player is going to be going for a first scout. Obviously, not checking the middle. That being said, you know, with playoffs, I've seen a lot of cheese, and Cold Warp Gates and I saw a ton of cheese going in our games, casting some of those Tier 2 and Tier 3 games. We'll see if the same thing will happen here with Tier 1 games. So far, though, nothing out of the ordinary from either player. And Terran looks like Urk Royal Blue is not going to go for the End Scout. A lot of players in this matchup think that Terran must go for End Scout in this matchup. I know a lot of, at least the professionals, will say End Scout is the best. Just because of the early timing of the Zealot pressure. A lot of Terrans don't like dealing with it. They want to see the Zealot come out immediately, probably pull a couple of SCVs to block the ramp. But it is going to be cross scout. And we do see Cybercore coming up. Yakub not building that early Zealot. He's going to be going straight into the Dragoon pressure. And the SCV taking about half his HP, and now it's got to run out of the base. And the probe here. Getting chased by Marine. He has seen that it's only one guy left on gas, so shouldn't be too worried about any kind of cheese right now. Factor going down as well for Royal Blue. Things looking very standard for both players. And Goon range is spinning as well. This is the time where normally you see Terran players pull the SCV guy out of the base, as we see here from Royal Blue doing exactly that. Probably is going to hide it at a location just to check the Nexus timing. We'll probably send the SCV back in. Hopefully when the Dragoon walks by, we'll be able to see exactly what the Nexus timing is going to be. And meanwhile, Royal Blue is just going to go ahead and plop down his command center. Bunker is probably going to be started relatively soon. This is about the timing that you're going to want to see the bunker go down. As you can see here, SCV is hiding down here at that 6 o'clock position, is going to just be going right back into the main base of Paras just to scout the timing, maybe see if it's going to be 28 Nexus, is it Robo first? All these are very interesting decisions that he's going to have to look for. Instead, actually, with Yakub holding the Dragoon back, now with the second Goon out, he might send one Goon out to go pressure the front, but for now, he's just content with sitting both Dragoons back out at the base. Bunker is now going down here at about 4 minutes for Royal Blue. In the meantime, we got the Siege Tank coming out as well. Gonna see what he's gonna opt for, the tech path. Is it going to be siege mode? Is it going to be mine upgrades? We're going to have to take a look. We do see the SCV is going to see the probe coming out here to take that roughly about 28 next. He did start a couple more probes here and another goon. So it is going to be a 31 nexus instead of a 28 next. But all that being said, pretty stock standard from both players. And here we go. The bunker is taking some fire here from the goons. Ooh, Yakub's got to control his goons a little bit better. Taking a little bit of hull damage here from these goons, but range is about to finish, and the first tank is out. It might actually be able to snipe one of these goons here. No, never mind. No hull damage there. SCV did go down inside of the main base here for Yakubi. Now he's going to go throw down the box facility and probably the 2 gateways as well. Meanwhile, back at the base for Royal Blue has not yet researched an upgrade. He's just very content with just producing tanks, getting into the academy. Probably will see the armory play get added very quickly. He knows that this is a cross-map game, so I do expect him to want to go for like a 3-2 timing attack or of some sort, or just play a very long macro game. If he's been practicing the ghost style, definitely something I would probably expect to see with the cross-map spawn. And also here with Yakub, because it is cross-spawn, I do expect him to take that very fast third base here. We do see the Nexus finishing up now at the natural. He's going to begin saturating that with his probes. And again, probably looking at a 6:15, 6:30 third base. You know, these gateways are going to finish, and he might just pump out 1 round of goons and then not make any more. Go ahead. Yeah, there comes that round of goons right now. He's going to be going up to 6 dragoons or 7 dragoons. He's got 1 here at the natural. And yeah, we do see the probe coming out, probably building a pylon first, but I do expect him to get that third base quickly. And actually here, Royal Blue is going to go for looks like a stim timing of some sort here. Maybe a, God, I forgot who did this. I think it was Sharp played against someone, or maybe it was Rush. Some Terran player decided to go for M&M with tank behind this. Now we're getting siege mode here from Royal Blue. And it was so interesting. Again, I did say that we should be expecting a lot of cheese coming out of both of these players here in the playoffs. And this timing could definitely come out and really shock Yakub here. We do see the siege mode is about to finish. He's got 4 tanks right now. 5th tank is about to finish as well. So I'm not as familiar with this build. We do see the engineering bay coming out. I don't know if he's going to start +1 and wait for +1 and range upgrade to finish on his academy, or is he just going to go ahead and push out here with the 5 tanks. 5 tanks very powerful at this stage of the game. He's almost got as many tanks as Paras has dragoons, and definitely the Marines will provide a lot of tankiness for them. And he's even pulling a couple of SCVs along with this army here, and now we're going to rally tanks and Marines across the map. We're going to have to see how good the engagement is going to be here from Royal Blue and how good the micro is from Yakub. He's going to see the SCVs being pulled off the line. He's got to respond right now. The goons are taking a lot more damage than I think that he wanted to. A little bit of hull damage taken from earlier. That definitely will not be that good of a situation for Yakub. Some of the goons are a little bit squishy. Now, he does have a surprisingly good amount of dragoons here. 9 dragoons total so far. He's going to really need a micro well. He needs to snipe off all of the Marines in the backup, I think. And right now, the tanks are getting right on top because the goons are going to try to walk forward. Snipe the siege tanks right now. Didn't even manage to get 1 siege tank. Finally picks one off, but not before losing so many of these dragoons. Another tank doesn't look like it's going to go down. I think Royal Blue's got this. He's microed this very, very well. Only losing 1 tank so far. Yakub's micro, not the best. Needs to pull back behind the bridge. Wait for some more reinforcements coming out. We see the reinforcement line for Royal Blue just coming out right now, streaming down the map. Yakub is trying to macro out as many Dragoons as possible. We do see 4 Dragoons in production all at the same time. But now, if he takes his high ground here with Siege Mode, I really feel like it's going to be impossible here for Yakub to be able to defend this. Didn't put down the 3rd base, luckily for him. Won't have to cancel that. But here comes the Siege Mode down. The rest of the reinforcements are trying to chase the shuttle with nothing in it. Luckily for him. Unfortunately, though, that shuttle looks like it is going to go down to those Marines. Yes, it will go down. No Zealot bombs for you today, sir. And now the tanks are just absolutely shelling out. Bunker crawl now towards the front as well. And this is looking very dicey here for Yakub. The worker count is barely in his favor, so he needs to throw down like at least another couple of gateways. Only 5 gateways coming up right now. More pylons being built. It looks like he's about to get a supply block. Couple more Dragoons on the way. Here it comes. The Goons are going to try to walk forward here. Try to get onto the siege tank. Gets the front siege tank. He needs to back up immediately right now. Start microing down these Marines. Really needs to start thinning out that Marine count. His Citadel is trying to get up at the same time. He just doesn't have enough gateways, not enough gas right now. His second gas is not being saturated, which means he can't really produce that many Dragoons out of these gateways. Now the tanks, if they start hugging the wall here, it's going to be so much harder for these Dragoons to really take a solid position. Another round of reinforcements coming out here from Royal Blue. A few more Marines and tanks back at base. We'll start to move forward here as well. Again, more bunkers, more missile turrets as the tank crawl continues to go forward. And it's so hard here for Yakub. Zealot legs just now started. That's going to be taking forever to finish. At the same time, he just needs so many more gateways. 6 gateways is something that he needed a long time ago. The tanks are going to try, or the Goons are going to try to take down the tanks here at the front. Will be able to get a couple. Does get one. Unfortunately, not able to get the second one. And now these tanks are just going to start moving forward slowly but surely. Another bunker probably going to go right up here at the front soon. And these back tanks here are going to start marching the way forward. Another round of Marines and tanks now walking across the map. He's done a good job of keeping the medics alive, so doesn't need to waste any more gas on medics. But now the Zealots are out. The Zealot legs is only about halfway done right now. He's finally getting some more gateways up, but it's a little too late. The Zealot legs is not done yet, not even close to be done here. Zealot's trying to get on top of these tanks. If he can pick off some of these front tanks, it'd be good. Unfortunately, the wall at the front here with medics, a supply depot, and bunkers is just too much. And I think that this last round of reinforcements coming out from Royal Blue is going to be enough to seal the deal here. Yakub is just way too far back in the macro category. There's the GG. Really well played there from Royal Blue, coming out with a very nice bio tank force. And that's going to be game number 1 going over to Royal Blue. We did expect a lot of cheese coming out of these players. And, well, here you go. Definitely a lot of interesting builds. We're going to go into game number 2 now on Eclipse. And let me go ahead and update that score sheet. There we go. So game number 2 on Eclipse, spawning up here as the Yellow Terran. It's going to be Royal Blue at the top right. And that means down here at the bottom left, it's going to be the Blue Protoss, Yakub. So Eclipse, I've always said, is a pretty difficult matchup in the early game, at least for Terran, just because early timing pushes don't work that well on this map. That being said, there's a lot of, again, potential cheese routes here. There's a lot of alleyways between both of the naturals, which means that if Terran goes for Vulture first out of the factory, you know, it can definitely catch Protoss off guard quite a bit. They're not going to be prepared because there's just, I think there's about 3 different pathways. The top pathway, the middle high ground pathway, and then the bottom, the very narrow corridor at the bottom that is very difficult for Protoss to really get a handle of and control in the early stages of the game. Yakub asking if he took the Expo last game. And Royal Blue is under no obligation actually to answer this. He forgets already. But it's always interesting to see players trying to ask them rather than just go back into the replay for a quick minute and take a look at what the replay sent or what the replay shows. And Royal Blue once again just opening up with that barracks. I do expect to see that gas very quickly. In the meantime, gateway opener and a very fast scout here from Yakub, scouting on gateway, wants to come in here and see exactly what Royal Blue is going to be doing for himself. Alright, the probe's going to get inside the base here, is going to be able to see the barracks timing and everything. SCV, meanwhile, for Royal Blue is going to be heading over as well. Cybernetics Core going down for Yakub. Once again, I do not expect him to see a Zealot first on this map. Although I do like Zealot first on this map. I think it's a very good, strong opener. It's a 2-player map. You know exactly where the opponent spawned. It's not the farthest rush distance. Although that being said, you know, the ramp here is a little skinny, where one SCV can like really be able to choke off the ramp. Maybe if it was on a map like Fighting Spirit or something like that, or Circuit Breaker, you know, it is a lot wider of a ramp. You usually need like 2 SCVs there to block a Zealot in the beginning. Factor going down here for Royal Blue, and now we see that he's only got 1 guy left on gas. I do like the supply depot that a lot of players like to do here for Terran. Blocks off the probe from really getting around and kind of running around there. Probe will end up going down because of that supply depot. I know that, for example, one of my teammates in the blind did that all the time against me, and I was always pissed off when my probe would get stuck there on the back and get instantly killed by just the 1 Marine. But alright, everything's so far the same from both games right now. We got the Dragoon coming out, same with the Dragoon range, and now we're going to see the SCV come down here and look to take that command center. 2 Marines already done, a 3rd one on the way, about to pop out, playing very safe here. Some Terrans, you know, they really like to go for just 2 Marines and then build a bunker. We see here with Royal Blue, does not want to do that. It's going to go ahead and get the 3 Marines. Just to be safe, we'll be able to ward away those early Dragoons. And something similar from last game as well. Royal Blue is trying to hide this SCV over here, and Yakub is going to be able to see this SCV come out and be able to pick it off with some good Dragoon micro. There it is, SCV picked up. Very nicely done. A lot of pro wrestlers have been doing this these days because they know that Terrans like to hide that SCV out there on the map to scout for the timing of that Nexus. Just keeps them in the dark for a little bit longer. Naturally, people do expect to see the Nexus, but as we see this game, we do see the robotics facility coming out here from the cube, so it's going to be looking like a very fast Reaver play. Another SCV is out on the map right now for Royal Blue. Really wants to make sure that he knows exactly what Yakub is going for. Marines not just yet in the bunker. There we go, 3 Marines in the bunker now. And the first siege tank is on the way. We'll see if Royal Blue is going to opt for the same strategy as last game. I don't think he will, just because I think that there's probably going to be some adaptation. Yeah, we see the second factory now coming up. This definitely looks very similar to something like a 3 to 4 tank push with vultures and spider mines rallied behind it. We're going to see if he produces more Marines out of the barracks. We do see SCV. SCV is going to be able to see no natural expansion. The probe will be able to get a block. No. Mischance there with the Dragoon. We'll see the 2 gateways and the very fast robotics facility. He's going to know exactly what's going on here. Very fast Robo means most likely fast Reaver. That being said, Yakub maybe trying to throw off his opponent, realizing that, okay, seeing the robotics facility, I'm not going to go for fast Reavers. Instead, I'm just going to go ahead and grab a very quick Nexus. Instead, try to throw him off just by a little bit. And meanwhile, Royal Blue is now getting the engineering bay. Probably going to go for that big missile turret ring around his base. We do see that the 4th tank is now, or 3rd tank. Oh, okay, 3rd tank is on the way. No upgrades yet for the machine shop. We're still waiting on what exactly the tech is going to be here for Royal Blue. Is it going to be siege mode? Is it going to be those spider mines? And will he do some kind of an aggressive push here? Yakub just getting the observatory. No Reavers, as we said before. Probably wants to try to trick up Yakub or Royal Blue just by a little bit. And meanwhile, we do see that it is going to be the machine shop with the siege mode upgrade here. Again, it doesn't reveal exactly what Billy's going to do, but with siege mode first, I do expect him to go into more of a macro style game. Now Yakub is actually double expanding here. So this is something that I think a lot of pro wrestlers do get worried about, is when they go for, you know, the double gateway with the robotics facility before their first expansion. They're kind of forced to go for a double expansion if Terran doesn't go for any kind of early big push. And we're seeing that issue right now. Will Royal Blue now decide to kind of pivot into an early push? We do see a lot of Terrans, when they see this kind of style here, where they go for the big tech before expansions, what they know is that pro wrestlers will go for a very fast 3rd base, and then they add on, you know, 2 to 3 to 4 factories to try to really punish that early 3rd. 1 Dragoon going down as well might allow Royal Blue to kind of pivot in that direction. But so far, it seems like Royal Blue is not interested in that right now. Going ahead and grabbing the Academy, grabbing the Armory, and it looks like he's just going to be very content with going into a macro game, getting the 2nd gas as well.
And he's pumping nothing but siege tanks right here. This is also another possibility that he could go into some kind of 2-base, 2-1 timing push. The way he's set up so far with nothing but siege tanks might indicate that. I know that 7 factory all-ins have become very, very popular in this matchup just because Terrans are so unamused to play a long macro game. They just want to go ahead and end the game as fast as possible. Just go for the fastest 2-1 timing push they can get, which is mass siege tanks, and then slowly adding on more factories for the vultures later on. And we do see no turrets back here actually inside of the main base, so this observer will be able to get in here, scout everything that the Terran is going for. As you can see, a lot of siege tanks. Will we see that add on the more factories coming out later? We do see a couple vultures now. Here we go. There it is. The double machine shop upgrades start churning out, and we're going to see if it's going to be maybe a 6 factory build instead. I know that I think that Flash did this 6 factory timing before, and he has done a guide on it where you just get your double upgrades at the same time after you've gotten basically about, you know, a very nice sizable group of tanks. He's got 9 so far here. It's quite a lot. Will we see them start adding on some factories before he decides to go for the big push? And meanwhile, Dragoons, it is hard. I will say this is one of the issues with this map, is that it's going to be hard for Terran to really be able to push out on this map unless he goes through this side corridor here on top. Trying to push up these ramps, if Protoss can get on the high ground with a lot of Dragoons, which it looks like Yakub has gotten quite a bit. One control group here, another control group is being built back at his base. You know, it is really easy for him to just take the high ground and not let Protoss or Terran ever push out across the map. That being said, here we do see a couple of vultures trying to spread out, maybe get some vision. They do have spider mines out, laying some nice mines down. But at the same time, looks like it is just going to be a macro style game here from Royal Blue, getting the science facility, getting the second armory, getting ready for that 2-1 upgrade as well. And I will say, I don't mind this choice here from Terran. I think that Terrans definitely on this map want to look for more of a macro game. It is actually very difficult, I think, for Protoss to really look for that that 4th base on this map. You know, if you look at the 4th base over here towards the 9 o'clock expansion, it is very difficult for them to secure it because of how wide open it is. A lot of vulture harass is possible. Trying to take the bottom bases down here towards the bottom right is also very difficult because they're so close to the Terran natural rally point. And now we see Royal Blue is going to be pushing out here with the 3rd Command Center having been finished. The Dragoons do need to pull back here. There's a lot of siege tanks with this army, and they'll easily be able to slowly crawl out and pick out some of these Dragoons if they overstay their welcome. Couple forges going down here. Double forge actually here for Yakub, going, I guess, for a 1-1 timing potentially, trying to maybe break the Terran. He is starting to go into that big Zealot heavy production right now that we see, and it is going to be very scary here for Terran, which is very tank dominated right now. He's only got a couple of vultures out on the map, and he's looking to get more tanks right now added into this army. 2-1 upgrades have now started. The 3rd Command Center has not yet lifted. I think that Royal Blue probably just forgot about it maybe, and it should be starting to lift over right now. Yakub is definitely playing that big macro style off of 3 bases that we see a lot of Protoss players like to do. You know, I think by the time that his army gets fully maxed out, that these upgrades should be able to finish maybe a little bit... excuse me. That the upgrades should actually finish probably after he gets maxed out. But he's going to have a lot of Zealots on the map. Definitely coming down these bridges is going to be very helpful. He's going to position a couple of Dragoons here to pick out the spider mines. I do anticipate him to maybe go for a big push like that. We do see scans coming across the map here. They will scan. I don't know if this is vulture tight. Maybe this is, I suppose. Right now we do see that the vultures are trying to pick out the cannon first. Let's see if they're able to get it. No, it is going to be vulture tight. And they will see, though, this 4th base going up, going right by the probe. We're going to pick up a free probe right there. That being said, he has pulled Yakub's Dragoons all over the map right now, and he's going to buy himself a little bit of breathing time here to set up his defenses. I definitely do want to see, okay, that is a lot of factories. That is going to mess with his choke a little bit here. I would like to see maybe lift these factories and put them back here a little bit more, but... regardless, he is adding up to now 8 factories. Needs that 4th base, though, to be saturated for him to afford it. And at the same time, Yakub is looking like he's going to try to go for a big break here that this 3rd base is trying to go for. A lot of Zealots with this army. I think he's waiting, yeah, for this maybe the second control group here of the Zealots. And we are going to see the big push coming here. Dragoons are face tanking right now at the siege tanks, but there's no mines at all. The Zealots are going to be able to get right on top of these tanks right now. We're going to see how good the control is here from Royal Blue. He is target firing down those Dragoons with those siege tanks, doing a pretty good job of that. However, all these siege tanks are going to go down. The Zealots are getting right on top of those tanks. And unfortunately, there's absolutely no defenses here for Terran. He's not going to be able to secure that third base. This is a big win here from Yakub, who's now taking almost a double supply lead. Yeah, I do think he's got to pull back a little bit. He's overextending. He's gotten enough damage as it is. He's just got to pull back, re-macro another big group of Dragoons and Zealots out, and continuously denying the Terran his third base. But this is a good damage right now that he's done. He's going to look like maybe he's going to try to stop this third command center here from landing, and that's exactly what he's done. Really good job here from Yakub, sensing weakness here with Royal Blue's majority tank composition that he's been really able to counter with a very heavy Zealot macro cycle that he's been having for the past couple of minutes in the game. Now the fourth base, without any kind of proactive attack here from Terran, is able to pretty much get up freely. Got a couple more cannons coming down here. A couple vultures are on the map, but I don't think that they're going to be able to get enough damage done. Meanwhile, we'll see here if Royal Blue, I think he's going to have to just pivot into a 3-2 attack if he was looking for maybe a 2-1, which it didn't look like he was going for anyways. But that being said, you know, now he's forced to do it no matter what. Yakub definitely might want to think about getting a 5th base. He should feel very safe after winning that fight so decisively there in front of the Terran 3rd base. I do expect him to maybe go for a little bit more macro game. He is getting actually Stargates now with the +1 attack upgrade here for air weapons and 2 Stargates. Trying to find where the other Stargate is right now. I only see 1 so far. Oh, it's barely hidden right here, all the way at the back. I mean, he does have Templar Archives, and he's getting Storm. So I'm not sure if this is going to be carriers. I don't think that they should be carriers. But Storm is very common with carriers, and a lot of the gas, if he's using it for Storm, he's not going to be able to afford the other Arbiters, because Arbiters are very gas intensive. Carriers are also gas intensive, but Arbiters are even more so because they cost so much more gas. 350 gas for the Templar Archives and per Arbiter, I believe. Meanwhile, though, Royal Blue has now established that, getting those mines out right in front of those siege tanks, and it looks like it will be the Arbiter Tribunal here for the Protoss player. As we can see, he is now once again almost double supply, 180 supply to 100, doing a very good job of macroing up his army. And I really would like to see him just use these Dragoons to kind of start picking off at these spider mines here at the front. You know, at least with one control group, the other control group can stay home and defend the bases, which it looks like he's doing. He's being a little bit scared right now that Royal Blue maybe has vultures on the map, which he does. He's being very good Terran here, being very annoying with these vultures. But I do want to see him start picking away at these spider mines, making some openings for potential attacks again with those Zealots later on in the game. Gotta be very careful. He doesn't have an observer here with his army. And here we go. Yakub is trying to set up a 5th base here, and he will manage to set it up here at the top left. Using a little bit of divergence here, misdirection with building a pylon, bringing a probe down to the bottom right. Now, Royal Blue thinking that, okay, Yakub is going to try to take a 5th base here. In reality, that's not the case. Yakub is actually taking the base up there at the top left-hand location. So I do like the misdirection here from Yakub. It's going to allow him to buy some time, set up that 5th base location. In the meantime, we're going to see if Royal Blue is just going to decide to just go for a 4th base, keep turtling up, or if he's going to look for that 3-2 attack, which 3-2 is about halfway done. He does need to keep macroing. His macro is not keeping up right now with his money. Definitely pretty high, getting high right now in that economy. Also needs a lot more SCVs. Only at 45 workers right now. Definitely not the amount that you really want here, especially when you go into a macro game with Terran. You're kind of looking more for like 60 to 70 SCVs. That being said, Yakub on the other side has 70 probes, so very strong so far for him. And Yakub, I think, is doing something that a lot of Protoss players do very often, which is that they kind of bring their whole Dragoon army to deal with random vultures out on the map. But I think that this is a little bit of a mistake here from Yakub, but just needs to bring a couple back home. Doesn't need to bring his whole army. Just needs to bring like maybe 4 to 5 Dragoons per, or even just a control group if you feel that scared. Does not need to bring all 24 Dragoons back home with him. He is doing a nice job of cleaning up these mines finally, but did take a little bit of damage here on the a pylon and did force his units to come back by a lot. Doing a good job now of clearing out a little bit. Only one tank really, so it doesn't need to be that scared of it. He can probably just walk forward, pick up his tank. Looks like that's exactly what he's going to do, and then probably pull back here. He's got to be very careful not to push forward too much. He's got to pull back right now. Tanks are about to siege up. There we go. Only lost a couple goons there, and that's fine overall. As long as he's able to really pick off some of the spider mines, get some control over the map, he'll be in a fine position really to continue this game. Yakub actually macroing up a little bit more Dragoons here. He's got like 2.5 control groups of Dragoons. Normally, I think that most Pros players would prefer just sitting at 2 full control groups and then adding on more Zealots and High Templar. That being said, everyone has their own unique style. Dragoons are a lot better with dealing with Vultures. However, I do want to see him add more Zealots. I think that getting too many Dragoons against the big tank army that Royal Blue has been macroing up is a little bit scary because your Dragoons do just end up getting popped here by these siege tanks. If we look here, looks like it's about almost 2 control groups of siege tanks now here for Royal Blue. That being said, still a whiles away from ever getting maxed out, and that's going to allow for excuse me, Yakub to really buy a lot of time to set up, you know, a 6th and even 7th base right now. His 5th base is finally starting to get saturated. Soon needs to allow his probes to start mining, but then he can start looking for those bottom right-hand bases coming up next. It looks like Royal Blue is going to try to go ahead and grab a 4th base. I really want to see him start using these Arbiters, though. He does have an Arbiter. I'm trying to find it right now on the map. 2 Arbiters, actually. And I don't know if he has Stasis upgraded. I did not catch that. I know that Recall just finished. But I do want to see him try to punish this, because right now he's got such a big supply lead. He can stop a 4th base. There's no reason why he can't at this moment. Okay, so it looks like a big attack coming in here for Yakub. Trying to attack over here at this potential 4th base. Big Mind Drag actually picked off so many Vultures there. And I think that this 4th base hopefully will be able to stop this. A couple Dragoons getting picked off here by Mines and Tanks. Not the best engagement and use of those units, but as long as he's able to stop this 4th base from going up, he should be in an okay position right now. Backing up a little bit, I'm not sure I like that. Probably taking the control of the high ground is going to be fine for him until Terran really forces him off that area. But if Terran brings more tanks to this area, that means that back home here towards the natural is going to be a lot weaker. And I think Protosses need to be able to kind of poke and prod to find out where the Terran weakness is going to be. So Arbiters are about to reach that recall energy. I think this Arbiter here is looking for it at 142 energy right now. He is going to have Stasis upgrade done very shortly here. And now adding a couple more gateways as well to continue macroing. Definitely needs more. So right now he's got about 12 gateways total, 13 with this gateway. I definitely see on 2-player maps it's a little bit harder to macro, so I think maybe adding a couple more on this side here would help him out with spending his money and remaxing once he goes for a big attack. We do see this Arbiter is looking for an angle here to recall. Not that much anti-recall defense here. There is a vessel here with max energy. Will he be able to get that EMP up? He does see it in time. Here's the EMP. Will he be able to get it? It's kind of a cat-mouse game right now with this Arbiter and this Science Vessel. Only one Goliath here, but the Arbiter looks like he's going to be able to get into the main base here. Is the EMP going to be in time? Nice recall here on top of the army. Needs to immediately start remacroing up that army as soon as possible. Oh, it looks like it was going to be a ghost game here from Royal Blue. Definitely maybe practiced it watching Royal, ironically Royal Blue, but Royal aka Sorry playing this. He will manage to snipe that science facility. Really nicely done, stopping that EMP upgrade from finishing. Did see that it was spinning, and that means that also no ghosts are going to be made here because there's no Covert Ops upgrade as well, or Covert Ops add-on. So he did a nice job of kind of slowing down a little bit of the Terran, forcing him to remake that science facility. Very expensive on that gas. Is trying to remacro out right now. This is one of the reasons why you do need some more gateways here to help you remax every time you go for that recall. And at the same time here, Yakub does now have a lot more probes being built. I think it is a little bit of a struggle here. He's getting up to, you know, going to be close to 80 probes when these probes are made. He definitely's got a lot of probes here at this 3rd base that he should be mainering over. Oh, we do see, there we go. Nice mainer here of the probes to the 6th base. But I definitely want him to see building some more gateways out. If he needs to build them out here in the middle of the map, that's fine. Over here at the 4th base is also another option for him. But right now, he's got to look for an opportunity because Royal Blue is starting to get to that maxed out area. And especially with how many SCVs that he's got, this maxed out Terran army is very scary. It is not a 60 SCV, 70 SCV maxed out. It is a 46 SCV maxed out. So in reality, he's been managing to afford essentially an extra like 10 to a whole control group of tanks worth of units. So it is not going to be very easy here for Yakub to find a good engagement here. He will end up sacrificing that 5th base. He needs to find something here though to attack and try to force Royal Blue to respond to him. Because right now, Vultures are about to pick off this pylon here, and that's about to fall. Vultures will be able to flood into the base and pick up a lot of probes. We are going to see the attack though. Yakub is getting stasis on the forward tanks. That's not what you want. You want stasis on the back tanks. That's a little better, but look how many tanks there are here from Royal Blue. He spent so much of his army attacking the 5th base that there's still so much army back at home because of the fact that he has barely any SCVs, and that means that his attack here is going to be so much stronger than normal. Yakub getting his army completely melted here. Not ready for how many siege tanks there were out. Not the best forms either. He needs to start going back home to remacro. He is starting to get some remacro going, but it's looking really scary here for our Protoss player. He's got a lot in the bank. He's got a couple more remaxes here, but he's got to be a little bit more careful. He's got to be able to play back and remacro, find a better engagement here. But right now, Royal Blue is sitting pretty. He's up in supply now. He's probably going to be ready to take the top left-hand base for himself. He does need to try to start saturating up this base, but as we see the probe count melting right now, the Yakub, there was no defenses here at the 6th base. And I think that a lot of Protoss players, when we get up to like the 6, 7 bases, they start forgetting to make those probes, and actually he just leaves the game. Yakub just ended up leaving the game here, banking up a ton of minerals here. That's going to be game. Royal Blue, with I guess no GG, Royal Blue is going to end up taking this game, the series, 2-0. So really well played to him right there. And that'll be it. One series 2-0 for Amigos. And we'll be jumping into our next series of today. It's going to be Ash Return versus Cold Warp Gates. And let me go ahead and adjust the player matchup here. Cole, why do you have such a long name? I'm just going to do Warp Gates. There we go. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and jump into the game. Or actually, it looks like Return is a Zerg player. I got it wrong. We're going to be seeing a ZVP matchup here. But anyways, we're going to go into Circuit Breaker game number 1 between Ash Return and Cold Warp Gates. Ash Return as the pink Zerg spawning down here at the bottom left. Which means that over here at the top right-hand base is the blue Protoss Cold Warp Gates. Yeah, Cold, but you just call me Flash, you know? That's easy, right? Just call me Flash. I can't really think of a way to just shorten your name. I guess Warp Gates would be is the only way to do it, or just saying Cold, but it's kind of weird if I just say Cold. Alright, looks like Cold Warp Gates gonna go ahead and drop the pylon. Probe going back to the mineral patches. Looks like it's gonna be the 10 gateway probably opener. Yeah, I'm just Flash Cold. I don't know what's so bad about that. Oh man. Alright, looks like Ash Return deciding to go for the extractor trait, going for 10 drones here. Is it going to be a 10 hatchery? I've never seen this build order before. Very interesting to see how this one's going to play out here. I guess maybe this is like a potential link flood action here from him. His plan is to just get spawning 10-9-9 maybe. Very interesting. I've never seen this before. I'm very interested to see what his plan is going to be moving forward. It is going to be cross map, which means any kind of link pressure is going to get to Cold Warp Gate's base a little bit later. But yeah, it is going to be a 9 spawning pool. And will we see the drone or the Overlord? It is going to be the drone. And it is going to be the gas. So 10-9-9. I think that this is a speed link play. I want to say it's kind of cheesy, maybe even like a super fast layer play that Paras isn't expecting. We do see the Overlord. Good on him, building Overlord before drone. I have seen a lot of people build the drone before the Overlord when they do a fast pull build. That is incorrect. Always get the Overlord first. And meanwhile, Cold is just going to be going ahead and grabbing those Zealots. We'll see the hatchery. So I'm not sure if he knows that this is going to be a 12 hatch or if it's going to be a 10 hatch. I'm not sure if he knows the exact timing of it. I don't know the exact timing of it because I don't play Paras. At least I don't play PvZ. So we'll see if he knows exactly what's going to be going on. He does see a very quick pool. Here come the 6 Zerglings coming out right now as well for Ash. And he doesn't have a drone scout. So he actually doesn't know exactly where Cold Warp Gates is just yet. First Zealot is on the way. And we do see the 8 Zerglings coming out here. Maybe this is actually just a nice counter to the early Zealot pressure that a lot of Paras has been doing. Here comes the Metabolic boost as well for Zerg, getting the fast Zergling speed. So will Cold know that this is going to be that very fast and aggressive link play? Or is it going to be more, is he not going to have the best understanding of what is going on? And I mean, I wouldn't blame him if he doesn't know what's going on here because of the fact that this hatchery looks like a 12 hatch play. That being said, you know, he sees the excessive amount of Zerglings coming out. I think he should know that something's going on here. A lot of Zerglings here being flooded out by return, and Cold is going to get that cannon up. Will he have enough Zealots here to block off the ramp? Not producing one just yet. He is looking, he's going to go try to get as much tech as possible. Probably going to drop his Cybernetics core as fast as possible too. He does have a couple probes being pulled off the line here to block for himself. This is exactly what he needs to do, especially when he sees that many Zerglings coming out. So he knows that this is the right play here. Does need to start building more Zealots, maybe add a second cannon, because this cannon is not going to finish by the time all these Zerglings are flooding across the map right now. Speed's also about to kick in, so these Zerglings are going to become really fast across the map. Will Ash return? Yeah, I'm about to say, probably should try to target fire these probes. Here comes the Zerglings. They're will gonna surround on the cannon. I think this might be game actually. There's gonna be no defenses here with speed finishing right now. And Cold Warp is gonna get cheesed out of this game. I don't see a way for him to come back in this game. Target on the pylon is okay in this position. I would have just liked to see him just start attacking the probes here and going for a surround on the gateway or the Zealot when it pops out. Regardless, Zealot will go down, probes will go down. I think that's going to be game. There's the GG. Well played there by Ash Return, doing a nice little 10-9-9 cheese play. And that's going to be gainer 1 going over to Ash Return for Mech and Cheese. And Cold Warp Gates in the chat does say that it was a 12. He thought it was a 12 hatch. So yeah, it is really hard to tell the difference between the two. I guess the only way to really tell is if the pool finishes, or if the hatch finishes like before the pool. Because I think that with a pool, like a 12 hatch, I think pool finishes after the hatchery by a significant amount. Or no, sorry, that the pool finishes and then the hatch finishes. So I don't know. Like, I don't play PvZ, so it's really weird. That being said, again, I don't fault Cold for not knowing the build perfectly. It is so hard to determine exactly what's going on here with Zerg when they do really cheesy builds like that. So really well played there by Return to kind of trick up Cold Warp Gates just by a little bit. Alright, going on to game number 2, Eclipse, spawning up here at the top right location as the orange Protoss is going to be Cold Warp Gates, which means that down here as the blue Zerg, it's going to be Ash Return. And by the way, for you players who are out there and watching this, please stop using the dark blue, because I can never see the name here at the top, as you can see. Cold, good job using a very beautiful, bright color here that goes really well against black. Ash, penalizing you. I hope you lose this game because you have just this terrible, terrible dark blue color. And even on the minimap, it's a little hard to see sometimes. So do us commentators a favor. Pick red versus bright blue. Always very good. Orange is another great color. Teal, a great color. Green, also a solid color as well. I think pink is another great color. Just help us out. Just do us a favor, you know? It doesn't take you anything. It's just one click. Yes, yes. Navy is cursed. All right, looks like Return here is going to go for another fast pool build right now. It's going to be, or actually, sorry, not a fast pool. I didn't see the Overlord building. Overpool, very standard. Just kidding. But Cold War Gate should know this time exactly what the build is going to be. He should see that this is going to be the pool first before the hatchery, and should know that this is an overpool based upon the timing of it. And the pro being annoying, blocking off the Zerg hatchery. Every Zerg's worst nightmare is this stupid pro blocking and just being a nuisance, you know, just being a nuisance. Like, why are you here? Just leave, just leave. Just let me put down my hatchery. Don't pile and block me. Be nice, you know, just leave. Now, he is taking quite a bit of damage here on this probe, down to 10 HP. So this probe is not long for this world, in fact. When the links do pop out, I do suspect that the probe is going to go down very quickly. The Overlord is not yet seen. He's actually building 6 Zerglings here instead of going for maybe something cheekier like 4 lings, 1 drone, or even just 1 pair of lings and 2 drones. So playing very safe. I guess he knows that Cold War Gates is going to go for that early Zealot. But Cold, seeing that it is overpool, is just going to decide to play very passively with the Zealot here. He's going to go for the faster Nexus, play very safe, very standard. He does see that the Zerglings are trying to walk across the map right now, and does see that he did build 6 Zerglings, so I think that that is the standard response here, is to hold these Zealots back at base. Meanwhile, he is trying to keep his probe alive for as long as possible. Does see the gas coming up. No third base just yet here for Return. Nicely done, killing off the drone. Nexus is going up right now. He does need to block off the ramp a little bit here with these Zealots, and we'll see how good the Zealot micro is here from Cold Warp Gates. Doing a good job here picking up that first couple of Zerglings. Oh, but the Zerglings might get in the base here. He does have 3 Zealots, so it shouldn't be that bad. He's just going to go for a counterattack, actually, starting up the Forge, and now he's going to really need to make sure that he does not lose that many probes to these 4 Zerglings. Will these be Jade on the Zerglings? Managed to pick up 1 probe so far, doing a decent job of probe drilling so far, not losing that many more. 2 Zerglings go down, another probe goes down, but that was really good probe drilling there from Cold War Gates. Not great Zergling micro there from Return. I think Return is now a little bit panicking because he did not manage to get that much economic damage done with the Zerglings, and the Zealots are walking across the map very quickly. Cold War Gates does have some pretty solid Zealot micro from what I've seen so far, so this is very scary right now for Return. He does not have a third base going down right now. He just attacking straight on here into these Zealots. Cold just not even needing a micro right there because of that, how good that engagement was. Doing a nice job here, pulling back, attack moving away. Now he's going to get behind these minerals right now and doing a really good job here of blocking the choke points down. He's picking up a lot of these Zerglings right now, and actually almost all these Zerglings are going down right now. These Zealots are still very healthy on the HP right now, as you can see, and all these Zerglings do go down. That means you can see how many Zerglings are being made here by Return, and as well as trying to put down a third hatchery inside of the main base, a macro hatch, not at the third base, and Cold is now just so monstrously far ahead, I've got to feel. Another Zergling does manage to get in, does pick off a probe, but Cold War Gates has done enough damage as it is, just really doing a great job here of slowing down the Zerg economy, forcing him to make a macro hatch here inside the main base. He's trying to go for lair. I'm not sure exactly what the lair is going to be used for. He does not even have that many drones, only 7 drones right now. Didn't manage to make any drones because he was just too busy making Zerglings to deal with it. Cold being extra safe as well, pulling probes off the line to block. Doesn't even need that, honestly. Okay, he does need it for right now. He is waiting for the buying time for the Zealot here to stick in between the pylon and the Forge. He needs to just bring this probe probably back to mining or behind these probes to help block off. But so far, he's been playing an excellent game. His Cybernetics core is on the way. Here comes that Stargate, and Cold War Gates must be feeling very, very comfortable here in this matchup. Yes, as you can see here, third probe just goes right behind, playing extra safe. Zealot is blocking out here at the front, and Return's going to see that cannon and be very, very sad that he's not going to be able to punish this at all. +1 upgrade now started here for Cold War Gates as well. So very, really smart play there from Cold War Gates. Although I gotta say that Return definitely could have gotten a lot more damage done if he had microed his Zerglings just a little bit better. But that being said, really great probe drill there from Cold Warp Gates that he really managed to make these Zerglings stick and didn't allow the Zerglings to really target fire down those probes that easily. A lot of the times, you know, what they'll do is they'll just A move, and when the Zerglings kind of get stuck and when they get drilled through, what happens is they don't stick on the same probe. The same probe, they'll start picking different probes, and a lot of the probes will end up getting damaged here. As you can see, actually a couple of probes here are pretty heavily damaged, but they're not going to go down is the point. And so Cold managed to keep those Zerglings, the probes alive. Really well done. Now he's getting +1 air weapons, getting the Corsair out as well. His tech is monstrously far ahead. Looks like Return is now trying to go into very fast lurker upgrades. As long as Cold can just put down a couple more cannons, he should be pretty safe from it. He may lose his front wall, which is going to be kind of sad, but I think that once Cold has his first Corsair going out and is going to go ahead and scout the enemy base, he should see that there's just a Hydra Den here. A 2-hatch Hydra Den play like this is very indicative of a lurker play, because there's no reason why you get this layer unless it was maybe slow Hydra drop into the main base. So it's got to be probably a lurker play. Maybe he might suspect drops, but hopefully he'll have enough defenses in time here once he sees that it is going to be this Hydra Den with a layer. And we'll see a couple Hydras coming out. We'll probably immediately throw down a couple of more cannons. We'll see. It is just going to be layer with the Hydra Den. We'll scout no third base, so he's got to know that's going to be lurkers or some variant of that. But regardless, I think the correct response always is, as Cold is doing, dropping a couple more photon cannons down. He is responding by getting the Templar Archives. Does want Storm. Storm is always nice against lurkers because you can just hit them for free, although they don't one-shot them. Meanwhile, just has 2 gateways, going very hard into the tech right now, and now he's going to move out with a couple of Zealots here just to pressure these Zerglings just by a little bit here. As long as he can just micro them well, yeah, I was just going to say pull them back, not letting the Zerglings get too much damage done here, and he's going to be very, very happy, very, very safe. The Lurkers are starting to walk across the map. I think that +1 Forge is going to be done in time, though. So even if he loses his front wall, he can always rebuild gateways back inside of the main base and probably get his Robotics facility once he sees and he confirms that it is going to be the Lurker tech. And we see these 4 Lurkers coming down right now. The +1 upgrades is going to be very, very much in time. 4 Lurkers trying to get on top of them, but the front Lurker immediately goes down. Zerglings are going to try to break the front here. I don't think it's going to be enough. The Zealots are doing a very good job here of blocking the front, making sure that no Zerglings are able to get in. And there's so many cannons here as well. I don't see this working out here for Ash Return. And now he's going to try to push forward. Yeah, I think this is going to be a game. I think he's just going to tap out. This cheese has failed. And Cold Warface is going to be very happy and evening up the series 1-1. I don't see a way for Ash Return to really come back in this game. Nice Zealot block again, stopping the Lynx from going in here. And now with 6 more cannons going up, even canceling them, he knows that he's playing. He's very, very safe right now, even getting Dragoon range upgrade as well. Getting a couple more pylons, getting even a cannon in the main base just in case lurkers manage to run by, or if there's a drop and gain a robotics facility. Cold Warface is just a perfect position here for moving into the mid game. 2 hatcheries going down here from Return. I'm not sure. I think that maybe one of these would be better suited at the third base. But that being said, he's just going to go ahead and try to, I guess, macro into more Hydras at this point. I'm not really sure exactly what his plan is going to be right now. He is trying to get some Overlord speed upgrade, but no drops. I think that drops would be really the only way of him coming back in this game. I think maybe dropping in this area here behind the minerals here at the natural or at the top side here of the main is really the only way for him to come back in this game, I think, at this point. Cold Warp is even now getting the second forge to get the armor upgrade as well and adding on a lot more gateways to supplement his army, and he's probably going to be looking for a very quick push out once the observatory is done. He gets the first couple observers, he gets the Dragoon range upgrade. He's going to have a very scary army. You can see the worker count right now, 17 workers here from Return, 46 workers for Cold Warp Gates. It's going to be very, very difficult here for Return to really find a way back in this game. I really feel like these couple hatcheries would be much better suited at like some hidden base locations. Maybe one up here like at the 4th base, just like randomly placed so that Cold won't be able to see it that much, and one over here at the 9 o'clock 3rd base location. He just needs to get bases going. He needs to get drones, because right now, as you can see, he's still only building units. He's not building anything more, and he's got to know that Cold, as soon as he saw the lurkers, did go for the robotics facility. You know, this is tier 1 play. It's not tier 2 or tier 3 where maybe you can get away with hopefully your opponents not making the robotics facility in response to your lurkers. You know, Cold is a very strong player. He is someone who has the proper responses to a lot of these builds. And as you can see, more gateways being added on. The 2-1 upgrade is being researched for him. I think he might just go for a 2-1 timing attack where he's going to be hitting like 120 supply or something. It's going to be a very deadly attack. He'll probably have 2 to 3 observers with that army by then. He's already got 1 done right now, 2nd one on the way as well. And he'll probably just take a 3rd base behind it as he pushes out across the map. And no Spire, no Scourge sniping going to be done here by Return as well. It is looking very scary. Cold, I love the 1DT. A lot of people always talk about this 1DT being being pretty useless, but I always say that this DT is really good. It gives you scouting information, it kills Zerglings for free, you can manage to kill off free Zerglings as well. It forces Zerg to get speed overlords and bring them with his army. I love this one DT out here from Cold. I think it's always a very smart decision if you're a Paras player when you get Temple Archives. Because for the one DT, it's not a big investment. It is very, very strong. Does so many different things, and it's scouting. I mean, he's got the information. He knows that nothing's happening here from Return. He's got to suspect that Return is going for like a big battle Zerg style on 2 bases. So unfortunately for him, you know, Cole with so many Dragoons out doesn't have that many Zealots out, but against a majority Lurker attack here, it's pretty easy for him just to. Oh, big storms coming out here. Huge storms by Cold Workers going on all over the Lurkers now. The Lurkers are going to try to get surrounded here. Unfortunately, they're all so badly weakened here, and just a majority Dragoon army. Cole did an excellent job of not overmaking the Zerglings. GG, well played. I have to agree with the return there. Very well played by Cold Warp Gates, and we're going to even up the series 1-1 now. All right, really well played there from Cold Warp Gates. I hate giving him props, but hey, really well done there. So we'll be going into the last game. Will we see who's going to take it? Will it be Ash Return or will it be Cold Warp Gates taking the series? Cold trying to even up the series here for his Amigos team against Mech and Cheese. All right. Cold Warp Gates going in here in this really weird, like, lemon lime color. I have not seen this color. It looks like it's yellow, but it's not. Is it yellow? Yeah, I think it is yellow, actually. Maybe the screen of mine is just messed up a little bit. I don't know. It doesn't look like the bright yellow that we're normally seeing. It's like a lime, like a yellowish lime yellow color. I don't know. Cold Warp Gates, I think this is lemon, but it's not lemon. Sorry. Okay, return over here at the top left as the Purple Zerg. Series tied up 1-1 on Polyploid. I do expect this to be a long macro game here, and I hope that is a long macro game. So far, we've seen pretty quick games ending very quickly. Just two cheese builds coming out from Return. Although that being said, I think Return was kind of forced to do a cheese once he fell super far behind in game number 2. I do think that he was probably setting up for a much longer game. But, okay, Cold Warp Gates going for an in-base pylon. Is he going to go for the 1 gateway tech build, or is he going to go for a 2 gateway, be a cheeky little piece of poop here that every Zerg hates? And he's going to be the gateway, scouting right afterwards. And meanwhile, overpull here from Return. And we're going to see the probe coming over here to scout. Now, I'm interesting to see Cold is not going for kind of like the little cheeky counterclockwise, or I guess it's on this map it's clockwise, but clockwise scout towards the bottom where you suspect that a overlord would be floating. Instead, he's just going to go ahead and just do a normal scout here and go all the way up here to the top. We do see the drone coming out here from Return to scout for a player map. I do expect this drone scout normally, although he didn't do it on Circuit Breaker, but I think that his build, the 1099, probably means that he's not able to afford sending out a drone because he needs every mineral that he can to execute the build properly. And as we can see here, Cold Warp Gates going ahead and going for a 2-gate. Lovely 2-gate. Every Zerg loves seeing Paras go for 2-gate. And, I mean, with a pretty solid Zealot micro, it's not a bad build by any means. We do see it's going to be cross spawn, so Cold is probably a little bit upset here that it is going to be the cross map 2-gate instead of a close spawn 2-gate. We'll see a couple Zerglings. Is going to keep checking these eggs to make sure that it is all Zerglings coming out of these eggs, no drones. And Return has done a great job here of making all of these into Zerglings. Otherwise, he'd be pretty screwed if he didn't because of this 2-gate. And the Zerglings are now looking like they're kind of just walking across the map here. Not sure exactly what they're doing right now. Maybe they're going to go for a counterattack running across the map. He knows exactly where Cold Warp Gates has spawned right now. But he does finally send one probe to go ahead and start attacking that probe and chasing it out. Alright, and Cole is finally walking out across the map here with these 3 Zealots. Return's gonna be very careful. So he sees the 3 Zealots, he has to know this is gonna be a 2-gate pressure. And I think that I really like this play. If he runs the Zerglings maybe by and try to get pick shots off, really good attack here, really good stopping the Zealots here. Cold Warp Gates had them on a move command, took a lot of free damage here. Look at how badly damaged these Zealots are. Now, he wasn't the best micro here from Return, but a lot of these Zealots are badly damaged. Did manage to stop the other Zerglings from counterattacking, and only one Zergling inside the base. That will get cleaned up really quickly. But so Return has done a great job here. Return has done a great job of stalling these Zealots. Cold War Gates definitely had them on a move command. A little bit sad there for him. And now one Zealot is badly damaged. He's only got 4 Zealots now with his attack. And Return is now building 1 Sun Colony. Really great from him. Getting some more Zerglings up right now. And I think that he's going to be really well in a great position to deal with this. And the fact that he's gone for such a greedy 3rd hatchery here and might not even get punished here with these 5 Zealots running across the map is huge for Zerg. When Zerg can get this 3rd base up without having to make this into a macro hatchery at the natural base, they're going to be so far ahead against a 1-base Protoss player right now who's not going to have gas. Gas just finished. No core just yet here for Cold Warp Gates. He's going to try to pressure this down as much as possible. It does finish. And here comes the surround by the Zerglings. Nice micro here from Cold, but unfortunately it's not enough, I think, because of the fact that he had 1 Zealot that was so badly damaged. Some good micro there. Actually, really good micro here from Cold. But now another additional Link Flood here from Ash Return, getting a nice surround on one of the Zealots here. The Zealots are starting to slowly fall, and I think that Cold Warp Gates is now going to have to pull back his Zealots and bring it back home, and he's going to have to play from behind this game. Really try to look for a big tech play here. Ash Return doing a great job here of stopping all of these Zerglings. Excellent. Well done here by Return. And Cold right now is going to have to try to walk across the map. He's really desperate to get some damage done here. But I think with Return getting the gas now from this, he's going to try to get some Zergling speed. Oh, he's droning up. He's droning up right now. Being a little bit greedy here, but if he's able to keep surrounding the Zealots like this to get another free one right there, he's got to pull back. Okay, so one thing I think Ash Return probably can work on a little bit is pulling back with the Zerglings, waiting for the reinforcements. Cold still doing a very good job here, microing the Zealots out. 1 Zealot does go down. I think the second one does finally go down. Yeah. So nice micro here from Cold, trying to keep these Zealots alive. I think the only suggestion I would have for Return would be to pull back his Zerglings just by a little bit to reestablish the surround once Cold Warp Gates kind of gets that nice little setup there with these with the Zealots to kind of not allow Zerglings to get a surround and they're kind of facing on like a direct battle. But otherwise, so far, really well played. He's made enough Zerglings. He hasn't overmade them. I thought that maybe making those drones there was a little bit greedy here from Return, but he's made the perfect amount here of Zerglings to deal with these Zealots. Not really overmaking Zerglings, not undermaking them. He's got the perfect amount, the Goldilocks number. Meanwhile, Cold War Gates is trying to get up that Stargate, try to get some pressure down with faster technology. Does have the Forge, is probably going to try to put a pylon down here at the front, maybe make a couple cannons before expanding. But now, again, trying desperately to move across the map here with these Zealots. Does Ash Return have some more Zerglings on the way? No, making more drones right now. I think maybe 1 Sun Colony here at the 3rd base might have been a smart decision here, especially when he's going for these counterattacks. So now it's looking a bit scary. Oh, he's going for scouts! Cold Warp is going for scouts. I love this. I think this is one of the smartest moves possible. If he thinks that Ash Return has a very slow if Ash Return has slower tech, that this scout is going to be so good at picking off overloads for free, getting really good drone damage. So this is really nice here from Cold. He's going to be managing to pick off this 3rd hatchery. Big loss here from Ash Return. I think Cold Warp Gates definitely has got himself much further back in this game. He's going to wait for these Zerglings to pop out. The layer does finish now. What will Return's tech choice be? I do think Spire is definitely in the works here. But he's got a lot of Zerglings out right now. That being said, Cold War Gates does have a nice little blockade here of the Zealots here at the high ground. He's going to try to push forward. A little bit scary. Only 7 Zerglings, so actually not that scary. But he's going to try to hide the scout for as long as possible. And finally, the Spire goes down, but I mean, this scout's already done. The scout's done. So we're going to have to see. Here come the Lings making their way inside the base here. Will we see some Jaedong level micro here from these Zerglings here? Nice probe drill once again from Cold, but these Zerglings will be very, very annoying. He doesn't know that it's going to be Corsairs just yet, or Scouts. We'll see if Return has ever seen this before from the Protoss, but here comes the Scout. This is so funny. Oh my god. Cold War Gates, I love you. What a sick unit choice. I think this is actually so smart too. I don't even think that, I'm not even memeing. I think this is a fine choice here because it allows you to get that air to ground damage done. And here comes the Scout. We'll see how Return reacts to it. The Spire's only halfway done. He might even need to throw down an Evolution Chamber and get some Spore Colonies done right now. There's the first kill. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Probes finally managing to clear out those Zerglings, but the probe count and worker count is actually even up right now, so very even. And remember, these scouts are very expensive, so he definitely has to get a decent amount of damage here with them. So far, 2 drone kills done. Yeah, Evo Chamber is going down at the meantime here for Return, getting a creep colony to make a spore. And 3 kills so far with the scout. Another scout just finished. It's going to be on the way. Probably going to go try to snipe maybe some overlords. But this scout's getting so much damage. I mean, look at the worker count right now. 17 to 19. He's getting a lot of damage done. Mutas and Scourge coming out. It's funny because Mutas aren't even that good against scouts either. I mean, obviously Scourge are very good. He's probably going to have to cancel that creep colony manor. It's mannering off 2 of his mineral patches right now. But this is a lot of damage being done here by the scouts. Sun Colony is going to try to come in here. The Zealots, yeah, we'll have to back up here. Scourge are finally out. Scouts are very slow units here, but he's gotten so many drone kills, so incredibly insane. Actually, he needs 3 Scourge to kill a scout. Really? So this is incredible. The scouts here are actually so I think Cold, yeah, he's keeping the scouts back for now, and I think that he's already done enough damage with the 1 scout that he built anyways, that he doesn't even need to build anymore. And he's also forced Ash to make Scourge and make Mutas, because you don't want to split your tech up that much as Zerg. You want to keep it more linear. So by building that many Scourge, you know, he kind of said, well, I've got Spire. I can't really afford, with only 2 bases, the Hydrogen and Spire. I kind of have to go into Mutas. Cold War Brigades will have these cannons done just in time. Still has 1 scout there as well. Will the Scourge find the scout? He will be pulling them back. He's got a lot of cannons down, and we'll see how good his scout micro is maybe. I think scouts, let me see how much a scout will do. Scouts will do 28 damage to a Muta. I'm not sure if they do explosive damage, so they might do like maybe only 14 damage to Mutas. But that's still like, you know, 10 shots or less to go ahead and attack those Mutas. He is going to focus down that pylon. Really smart choice here from Return. Going for more Mutas, which is obviously the smart decision here, but needs to drone up. A Cold, oh my god, in the meantime, +1 upgrade is almost done right now, and he doesn't have that many Sun Colonies here at the front. He's got a lot of Lings and only 1 Sunken, but I think that if Cold Warp Gates can time this perfectly up with that +1 upgrade, he does not want to go for an anti-timing right now. This pylon will end up falling. So he will need to find a way to deal with this. He needs to make some Corsairs right now. But the Zealots are going to go in here. A little bit of the anti-timing. Doesn't wait for the +1 attack. Maybe feels a little bit pressured here by these Mutas that he needs to be forced to go for this attack. I really feel like he should have waited a little bit, because now these Surgeons are going to be able to do so much more damage. And I think that this attack here from Cold Warp Gates is going to end up failing. And now Ash Return has found himself with a little bit less pressure. He can afford a drone up, which is exactly what he's doing right now, building some more drones for both these hatcheries. We'll probably want to look for that 3rd base as well. But he's now building up a lot more Mutas, building more scouts. So at this point in the game, with how many Mutas are out, I don't think building more scouts is the right decision. I think just going to Corsairs, maybe getting +1, or Temple Archives is fine. But I think building more scouts now at this point, when you know your opponent is ready with Spore Colonies and Scourge, is now the incorrect decision here. Here comes the Scourge. Will they target fire down the scout? No, it looks like the Mutas are just going to go ahead right ahead. Oh, the scout goes down. Now it's just down to 8 Mutalisks left. He does have quite a few cannons here at both of these bases. Unfortunately for him, no real defenses here to protect these gateways. And now these Mutas are going to reign supreme without much anti-air here for him. He's still making scouts. I think he's really committed. I think once he made a couple of scouts, he's like, well, I might as well just keep making scouts at this point. I'm not going to go for Corsairs, even if they might be the smarter decision here. Return actually just going to go for a macro hatch instead of grabbing a 3rd base. I think he's got the majority of the pressure, though, because right now he knows, or he should know, that Cold War Gates can't really build Zealots out of these gateways. He can only build anti-air, Dragoons, a Templar, as you see here, and Scouts or Corsairs right now. So he's not really in danger. I think that this catcher would be better suited as a macro hatch. That being said, he just wants to play extra safe. He knows he has the advantage as well in playoffs, especially in the 3rd game of a best of 3. You want to play a little bit extra safe here against your opponent, just to make sure if you have the advantage, there's no reason to take a greedy play and to throw your advantage. And we've got so many more Mutas coming out right now here for Return. He's got 5 more Mutas. No upgrades just yet on these Mutas. I do expect him to see maybe getting a +1 career pace upgrade at some point. But that being said, he's very comfortable right now on these mass Mutas that he's gotten so far. And Cold War Gates is desperately trying to find ways to protect these gateways. Still building scouts. He's got 1 scout left over again. Building even more cannons at both of these bases right now, and he's in trouble. He's really looking for a way to try to find a foothold in this game, but the Mutas are way too strong right now, and Return's got some pretty solid Muta micro as well. Midas are just getting some nice little chip damage here on some of these units. Or some of these buildings, my apologies. Pylon goes down. Nicely done. And these Midas are doing so good at just kind of like walking in and out. And so here's the thing, right? Normally, if you have Corsairs, Return can't go for this big Muta commitment. He can't keep building Mutas. You know, he's got to probably take a third base, which he's doing now, or maybe transition into Hydralisks. However, as we can see here, he's going for Scouts. The Scouts are still being built. There's no splash damage going onto these Mutalisks, which means that these Scouts are not going to be the best suited for a mass Muta attack, which is what Return is going for. And I think that this is a response to say, listen, if you're going to keep building Scouts, then I don't have to build more Scourge. I don't have to build more Hydralisks. I can just go ahead and keep building Mutas because I know you don't have splash damage. Meanwhile, Colrogus does have the DT over here. It looks like I like this decision, not attacking the third base, not revealing he's got a DT out on the map. Just going to hide the Dark Templar out here at the middle line, so when drones are transferred, he's just going to be able to snipe all of them before Return can even react. It's going to be like, oh, where did my drones go? And it's going to be Dark Templar over there. Finally now getting the +1 air weapons here. Still no Corsairs, still committing to a Fleet Beacon. Colrogus, I think, just was like, I'm just gonna meme this game really, really hard because there's no. He's. all right, Cold, you take it, man. This game is hilarious, and I love you for it. Oh man, he's actually gonna get Scout speed. I can't believe this is gonna be a real thing. Here come the Mitas though. 2 control groups of Mitas. Does he have Storm done yet? No, instantly snipes the High Templar. Doesn't even get a chance to Storm. And I think the Natural is gonna go down right here. There's just not enough cannons, not enough South. Look how slow they are. Oh my god. No Scourge out right now. Finally some Scourge backing up the Mitas, but there's just too many Mitas and no splash damage means that these Mitas are just easily able to really pick off at these Scouts right now. They're not even worried about the Scout being out. The last cannon for Natural is going to go down. I don't think there's a way here for Colrogus to defend. He's going to have to pull back in his one base, and really try to re-macro up some anti-air, but no, doesn't have enough money. There's the GG. Really well played here from Ash Return. And really, really well played there from Return. Back and forth game. Really excellent series so far between both these players. And Return is going to end up taking the series 2-1, which means that Mech and Cheese doing a really good job here of taking the overall series. Or actually, no, it was the series was tied up 1-1. Mech and Cheese did manage to even it up. Royal Blue did win the series for Amigos, so it is going to be 1-1. All right, and I think that is going to be it. Thank you guys so much for watching this series.